I'm out for a walk. It is about, I don't know, 9:30 or so on Thursday night. It's been a long day. This has been one of those days where you get up and start meetings at like 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't end until dinner time, and then you have dinners and more conversation and stuff after that. It's just a long and exhausting day. And honestly, one of the things that I regret more than anything is that I haven't been able to show you anything about Louisville. Like, oh, wait. Like, I absolutely love this town. I refer to it as my second hometown. This town feels more like Kansas City than just about any other place that I can think of. I spent 4.5, 5 years here, both as a student in seminary and then living here. Just love this town. Absolutely love it. Oh, mercy, I totally want to get a hat in there. Totally do. In fact, in some ways for me, Louisville's like one of those perfect cities. It's not too small and it's not too big. It's really got a small town feel. I used to say that Louisville was the perfect 20-minute city. You could get from anywhere in town to any other place in town in less than 20 minutes. For a guy like me who doesn't like a lot of fuss, that's just really fantastic. I think in a lot of ways, Louisville is the most southern Midwestern city. It's really only southern for 2 weeks at the end of April when Derby season starts. You know, the first Saturday in May, the 2 weeks that lead up to that are called the Derby Festival. And that's really the only time that Louisville is ever really southern. The rest of the time, it's a pretty Midwestern place. I feel very comfortable in Louisville. Very comfortable in Louisville. This right here is one of my favorite places in the entire world. It is where Thomas Merton had this revelation. Thomas Merton was a Trappist monk about an hour or so from here, but he had come into town. He had just been to the dentist. Some people thought that maybe he was, I don't know, like hyped up on whatever drugs they give you at the dentist. And all of a sudden he said he looked at all these people and realized that they were shining like the sun, and he realized that he loved all these people. So that's Thomas Merton, who I was talking about, and this other guy over here, where is he? Right there. That's the Dalai Lama. That is the Dalai Lama. We've actually had the Dalai Lama here. And I say we, this is the Center for Interfaith Relations. This is actually where my very first job was after seminary. I went to seminary here in Louisville, Kentucky. And the Center for Interfaith Relations is where I got my very first job. I was the program director for this place. At the time it was called the Cathedral Heritage Foundation. Back behind this building is the Cathedral of the Assumption, the seat of the Archdiocese of Louisville. And our job was to promote interfaith relations in the city of Louisville. In fact, this park, I'm standing in a park right outside of the Center for Interfaith Relations. And when I started working here, this was a parking lot. My first year of working here, this entire parking lot was turned into a park. In fact, right here you have, oh yeah, here it is. See? It says right there, Cathedral Heritage Foundation. And here was here's the motto: many faiths, one heart, common action. This is a fountain that springs up in the summertime, and a big fountain there. Yeah, this place holds a special spot in my heart. I like to bring people to Louisville and show them this place. I really actually adore this place quite a bit. I mean, it was my first job out of seminary. I was young and I thought I was going to change the world, and I really thought that if people would just listen to me, that they would understand, that they would really understand what was going on. But that didn't really happen a whole lot. In fact, this was a really great place for me to work because I realized a lot of things about myself. I realized that I'm not a logistics person. I don't do logistics very well at all. One of the things that I was responsible for was an event every year called the Festival of Faiths. It was a gigantic, internationally renowned interfaith festival. We had Rowan Williams, the then Archbishop of Canterbury. We invited the Dalai Lama to come. Like, some serious named people came and spoke at this thing, and I was responsible for coordinating it all. And I got to be honest, I did a really bad job. I was only at CHF for like a year and a half, and part of me is really embarrassed about it because I left. I felt like I bailed to some degree. I bailed and I left. But I went into congregational ministry in the Presbyterian Church, and that's really kind of what started me on my whole track to today, where I'm a Synod executive and serving on these boards and doing these things. And here's the story I want to tell about this place. My boss while I was here was a man named Matt Hayes, and he was probably one of the best people that I think I will ever know in my entire life. We put together, when we were becoming the Center for Interfaith Relations and ceasing being the Cathedral Heritage Foundation, we put together a strategic plan over the course of, several months. But once we did the strategic plan, and it was fantastic, and it was exactly what the organization needed, I went to my boss, Matt, and I said, Matt, I think that this is perfect. This is exactly what CHF needs to be about, but I don't know that I have the gifts and skills to do it. And I was petrified. I was shaking. I was really nervous to talk to him. And Matt said, okay, you don't think you've got these skills for this? Let's figure out what your skills are. Let's figure out what you're good at. Let's figure out what you need to be doing. And he put me on this gigantic discernment quest. He had me do all sorts of things like take the Strengths Finder test and all those kinds of things because he wanted to help me figure out who I was, what kind of person I was, what I was good at, and what kind of gifts that I could give to the world. That has been not just inspirational, but incredibly influential in my life. When I'm working with people, I often think about, okay, this may not be what you are good at. Let's figure out what your strengths are. I really try to make sure that the work that I ask people to do is matched with the strengths that they have. Sometimes I fail and sometimes I succeed, but honestly, it was because of work at this place and a guy named Matt Hayes that I learned that one key fact about being a leader, but more importantly about being a boss and being a supervisor, is that you have to support your people and you have to set them up to succeed. I'm thinking about Stanley, that guy from the other day whose email I answered. I don't think that his head of staff really cares what his gifts and skills and what his strengths are. I don't think that he really cares about making sure that he's set up to succeed. As far as I can tell, that guy's boss just wants Stanley to make some widgets. That's no way to act in this world. Called 4th Street, and one of the great things that's happening is there's a lot of redevelopment happening. I don't know if it's, fair and just and equitable redevelopment. I don't know if it's gentrification or not, but it's really nice to see this street, which used to be a really important street in the economy of Louisville. It's nice to see it come back. It was pretty much all boarded up when we lived here. So I'm really sorry I haven't had any more opportunity to show you the city of Louisville. Again, other than Kansas City and the general Midwest, I think I love Louisville more than any other town in the nation. It's just a really great place. But I'm back here a lot, so I'm sure I'll have a lot more opportunity to give you a tour, maybe take you to Churchill Downs or something like that. I don't know.